What is up, traders, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're starting the trading day with our focus squarely on Nvidia. The stock has been seeing a significant sell-off recently, and while the headlines might be noisy, in this focus video we're diving deep into the technical charts to understand what's really happening. We'll be analyzing key support and resistance levels, examining the options flow for potential clues, and briefly touching upon any recent news that might be impacting the price action. Let's get into it. First of all, let's begin with the hourly chart. The stock was doing pretty good until it sold off when we had a high of around $184. The stock recently closed at around $174 and actually bounced off the key level that we stated here on my last video. If any of you guys saw that video, we stated that Nvidia, we wanted to see it bounce on Nvidia around this key area here of around $172, and we did. And we stated that our case was that we did expect a pullback towards either one of these levels because we saw that the RSI was pretty overextended around these zones, right, at these highs. Now we dipped below and we actually fell below 20 on the RSI, showing that there was an oversold condition, right? And this is kind of mirroring what happened here on this deeper pullback on Nvidia. As you guys can see here, we're doing pretty good all-time highs. And then we found this high around $174. We pulled back quite deeply. And during this time, the RSI was actually, right here, was actually quite high. And we saw this dip and we said we didn't want to buy yet until we dipped into a key area of support, a key anchored VWAP where buyers were going to be found. And we saw a nice area here, nice volume. And the RSI here went below 20, showing that it was oversold and the buyers were going to come in. And that's exactly what we saw here. Nice movement. Now, this is exactly what I believe we're seeing here, right? We saw a nice upward move ever since this pretty much support level. We found some sellers here at these highs, and now we've been falling below, but the RSI went below 20, showing us that those buyers are now going to start to kick in, right? We saw overall bounce in the triple Qs, the SPYs, the majority of the semiconductors as well. We saw a nice bounce on AMD, and I believe that the stock is going to be seeing a nice bounce ever since we hold above, or pretty much we held above this key area for around 3 candles in a row. And what I mean by that is that we had this following candle here. So for example, we had the bounce, right? And we had this candle, and this candle, and then this superior candle that went above this prior high, showing that we had a higher high and a higher low, and those buyers are currently in the money. Right now, to be fully long on the stock, we would like to see the stock get above the swing high anchored VWAP with this red line, which is where the sellers came in, as you guys can see here on this level, and also where pretty much the RSI started to, get overextended to the upside, and that's when we saw the downward move. So these sellers are pretty much short on an average price of $178. If the buyers that came in here at this low, if I can show you guys right here, manage to break above this area of supply, then these sellers are going to be having to sell their positions, actually buy back their shares because they're going to be caught off guard. Where I believe the stock can still reach the price targets of $190 towards the earnings and actually $202, which is the next area of resistance here on the stock. Now, if we do decide to pull back even deeper, I see areas of support at $161.88. and $154.33, but so far this area of support is looking quite well, and as long as we break above here, I am fully bullish again on Nvidia stock. Now, for example, even looking at Nvidia, the put to call ratio, we see that there is the majority here, the call volume is superior to the put volume here on the nearest expiration day, which is August 22nd, but we do see the put volume being higher than the call volume towards the dates of the 5th of September, even towards the 12th of September. And what this simply means here is that there are pretty much investors hedging that in case the earnings comes in negative and the stock reacts negatively, they can shortly profit or hedge their long positions that they have in the equity. And this doesn't necessarily mean that the stock is bearish. In fact, if the stock surprises and we see an upward move, then these individuals are going to have to cover, and we're going to be seeing a very explosive move towards the upside here on Nvidia. Now, to the most recent news on Nvidia, we've been seeing that Nvidia has been ordering its suppliers to halt its work on the China-focused H20 AI chip, according to Reuters. If you scroll down here, Nvidia has told that some component suppliers are supposed to suspend the production of its H20 AI chip, designed specifically for the Chinese market. The information reported on Thursday, citing two people with direct knowledge on the communications. Now, according to the report, Nvidia instructed Arizona-based Amkor Technology to stop production of the H20 chips this week, and also notified that South Korea's Samsung Electronics. Now, we see here that neither companies have immediately responded to Reuters at the moment, and Nvidia as well had a spokesperson said that they constantly manage their supply chain in order to address the market conditions, as both governments recognize that the H20 is not a military product or for government infrastructure. China won't rely on American chips for government operations, just like the US government will not rely on chips from China. This officially comes as Chinese authorities last week summoned domestic companies, including the major internet firms like Tencent and ByteDance, over the H20 chip purchases, expressing concerns over information risks. Now, I firmly believe that this news is not going to affect the stock in the long term. We've seen that the government is looking to seize around 15% of the revenue share of Nvidia by allowing it to sell its chips to China. I don't believe this is going to impact the stock heavily on the long term. This may be a short-term downward move, but I believe that the stock over the long term and the long haul is a great company to buy here. And there you have it. Whether you've been a swing trader or you've been investing longer term on this name, what are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments your price targets and your opinion on Nvidia's latest sell-off and the Chinese news. Apart from that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and as always, stay uplifted and don't let the markets whip you guys out. I'll see you guys on the next one.